fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull when you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and Head that D tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. My name is Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. TK's back in the sound room, and I think Heavy D just walked in a few seconds ago.
Heavy D made it. You know, he's running a little bit late tonight, and I think he's going to have to tell his part-time employer over there that he needs to get back for his full-time job a little quicker.
Yeah, we got priorities here.
Absolutely.
Well, Ken, you know what? There's three things I love about this show, and one of those is talking to coaches, one of those is talking to players, and one of those is talking some blue and gold. Tell me I'm going to have fun tonight.
Absolutely. You know, Craig, we've got coaches, we've got players, we got a lot of blue and gold talk tonight. You know, a lot of Russia talk, some Lehman Cavalier talk tonight. We're going to talk to Russia new softball coach Michelle Baker. We're also going to talk to Russia's newest hire, the head volleyball coach of the Russia Raiders, Kristin Drees. And then we're going to go over to Lehman, Craig, and talk with the newest member of the 500-win club over there in the Kinger, Coach Dave King. Really looking forward to that interview with Lehman Baseball. All
right. Well, before we get to all that, just like we do every week, have that weekly trivia question, which is actually now on the Fish Report Live page if you're watching us on the website. But what do you have for me tonight, Ken?
Well, Craig, speaking of Lehman Baseball and Coach King, recently Coach King picked up his 500th career coaching victory, Craig. I think he's just the 19th coach ever in Ohio history to achieve that many wins. Craig, he received those wins at 3 schools. Which one of these schools did he not coach at? Was it Sydney, Lehman, Jackson Center, or Riverside?
Well, I thought he'd been at Lehman his entire career until I saw all 4 of your answers, so obviously he's been around a little bit. But I will definitely need some help on that one. So I'm going to send that question out on Twitter, and then I'm also going to have to check with the sound room on our telemetrics at the end of the show, see if they got any answers from our viewers tonight. But let's get things started, Cam. We're going to be talking a little Russia softball, and the girls have had kind of a tough time getting their games in on account of the weather. They've only played a couple so far, but the good news is they've won both of those. So we took the opportunity while they've been off to go talk to their new head coach, Michelle Baker, over there, and a couple of her seniors. And let's check out the video and see what they had to say. Fish Report Live here with head softball coach Michelle Baker. And Coach, you take over the Raiders program this year, and I know a lot of softball fans around the area might not be familiar with you here yet. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you came from and what your background is with softball?
Alrighty, well, I graduated from Tip City in 2008, and I played shortstop there. I also played with the travel ball team Express out of Dayton, and we traveled all over the country and played in different summer ball tournaments. And then I went to Wright State and played college for 4 years there. I was a left fielder for 2 years, then a right fielder, and then a center fielder my senior year. And I did a lot of the left-handed slapping and bunting. So that's just a little bit about my career in softball.
All right, well, we've gotten off to a nice start. You're 2-0 right now. Got a big league win over Botkins, beat a MAC team in Fort Recovery. And so you're 2-0. What's impressed you the most about this Raider team so far?
I think what I'm really impressed with is they come out and work hard every single day. Every single practice, they give me 100%. They're never cutting corners, and I love that. In regards to the games, I think we were really impressed with our hits. 27 hits. I think we kind of all shocked ourselves coming out and hitting that ball pretty hard. So I was really impressed with our hitting, but also our pitchers did awesome. Our 2 freshman pitchers, they together, I think they have 1 hit on the season against them in 2 games. So
yeah, that Botkins game, you had a no-hitter. It was a combination of Maddie Borchers and also Katie Swartz. Mm-hmm. And then the second game against Fort Recovery, Katie throws a 1-hitter. Yeah. So are you surprised that your pitching's been that strong this early?
Yes, I'm really surprised. I think everybody think, you have 2 freshman pitchers and a freshman catcher. You think there might be some nerves out there. But they're going out there with confidence and throwing that ball like they know how to. They're hitting spots. We tell them to hit inside. They hit inside all day, outside. They're just doing what they're supposed to do up there. And I think for freshmen, we're just really impressed with what we have. And I think, again, it goes a lot back to working hard at practice and their attitudes all the time. They've got really positive attitudes. So.
All right, well, you don't have a lot of games in yet. I know the Versailles game got rained out Tuesday night, but you have Fort Laramie coming up on Thursday. I believe Botkins again on Friday, and then Covington on Saturday. Some big teams, some really good teams there. What's your thoughts on the rest of the schedule here for the rest of the week?
I think if we just keep doing what we did in those first 2 games, I think it'll definitely be some tougher competition these next 3 games. But I think we're ready for that. I think we want somebody to challenge us a little bit. So I think we're ready for them. We have to go after them, bring the bats like we have been, just go in there with confidence, and our pitchers just have to keep up that confidence and that positive attitude and keep hitting spots. So I think if we do that, I think we're ready for them.
All right, and you mentioned playing college softball, so you obviously know what it takes to be successful. What's it going to take for these Raiders to be successful this season?
I think a couple things. First, it comes down to communication. We've been working a lot on our communication this year. Just constantly talking. Where are we going with the ball if it comes to us? How many outs do we have? Supporting our pitchers constantly, and I've put that a lot in our freshman catchers' hands and our seniors, just talking it up all the time. So I think it comes down to communication, trusting each other, and then also just doing what we do in practice and working really hard and just transferring everything to the game that we work on in practice.
We're here now with senior Taylor Borchers. And Taylor, you're a letter winner from last year. You batted .345 last year. You certainly started out this season well, 3 for 3 against Botkins. This team has got 27 hits in 2 games. Coach just told us about that. Are you surprised with only 2 seniors coming back how well you've been hitting this year so far?
Well, we hit really good last year, so it's really helping out. But we have a new coach, and she's teaching us a lot of new fundamentals, and it's really showing, and I'm impressed so far, and I hope we can keep it up.
All right, we're here now with senior Emily Fairchild. And Emily, you're also a letter winner from last year, batted .308. Coming into this season, you got a new coach. We just met her, and I want to get a player's perspective now. What's it like going into your senior year, getting used to a new coach?
Well, we're always used to Coach Hammonds, and getting a new coach is definitely something new. And I think we've adjusted very, very well. And she taught us a lot of stuff that it's not new to us, but the communication, that's definitely a big deal, and it helps us in the long run.
All right, and that was new head coach Michelle Baker and a couple of her seniors, Taylor Borchers and Emily Fairchild. And Ken, Coach Baker, a young coach, basically right out of college. I think she said a 2008 graduate. What kind of challenges does that present being a new young coach like that?
Well, Craig, anytime you come to a small school like Russia and you're splitting your athletes between different sports, numbers is always a big issue for Coach Baker, and nothing new for her this year. She'll have 11 or 12 players, which is great for a varsity team. Unfortunately, she won't be fielding a JV team, Craig, where a lot of the kids learn their fundamentals and learn to improve their game. So that's probably her biggest challenge. And, the other challenges include her schedule. She plays a tough schedule. And Shelby County Leagues, a lot of MAC schools, a lot of CCC schools, as well as the success of the Russia girls track team. A lot of the athletes, like I mentioned before, are split between track and softball. So, the two kind of go, they're both in the spring. It's tough for her to compete with that, but she'll do very well.
All right. Well, speaking of new young coaches at Russia, on Tuesday night, Russia announced that they have a new volleyball coach, and Kristin Drees, a former Russia alum. She takes over the program from Todd Wine, who recently left. And Kristin, like I said, former alum. She played volleyball for the Raiders as well as at Edison State. We're happy to have her live on the phone right now. Coach Drees, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, listen, congrats on the new job. I'm sure you're excited. Tell us how this came about. What made you interested in becoming the head coach at Russia?
Well, thank you, first of all, for the congrats. I actually was very surprised that the position came open, as Todd Wine was actually my first JO coach that I had when I was 14 years old, so kind of surprised that he was leaving. But I've always thought that I would end up coaching back at Russia at some point. I had a different coach every year as a high school athlete in volleyball, so I was definitely interested in coming back and kind of creating my own program. I coached last year at Versailles for their junior high, and it was a great experience, but I just was ready for the next level with kids that are more developed, and although I like teaching the fundamentals, it's very fun to coach kids that are have more developed muscles, so I'm excited about that.
All right. Well, listen, I know your season starts this fall, but like all coaching jobs, I know your work probably starts earlier than this fall, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does. I was actually talking to the new AD tonight, and we were discussing some summer camps, and we're going to already start getting scheduling done so we can secure our gym time. So it's definitely starting sooner than later, and but I can't wait, and I'm very excited about it.
Coach, hi, this is Ken. And congratulations also on the new position. Russia Volleyball looking to have a Russia alumni at the helm of the program, I'm sure. You've been out of Russia for a few years, since 2009 when you graduated. How familiar are you with the kids that you'll be coaching next year?
Yeah, I've been out for a while, and I notice when I go back, I don't know as many of the girls that I used to, but I did coach several of them on one of their JO teams 2 years ago, which was very exciting. They had a great season. Russia being so small, I do know a lot of the girls, which I'm very excited about. I think that they're all familiar with what I would expect out of them, and I don't think that they're going to let me down. So I'm excited about that, and it's definitely nice being familiar with the girls.
Coach, you know as well as anyone that probably the best volleyball in the state of Ohio is played right here in this area. Shelby County League, MAC, very dominant in high school volleyball over the years. How confident are you that you can build the program to be competitive with that strength of schedule?
I am actually pretty confident about that. We have a lot of girls that are dedicating their time in the spring and off season to play JO and get a lot of court time under their belt, which is always nice to hear as a coach. I think with that, and a lot of the girls are playing with girls from the MAC and with girls from other SCL schools. I think that we're going to be developed in no time, and I think that we're going to have a lot of success, and I'm excited about that.
All right, Coach. Hey, listen, one more question, and we'll let you go. But I know your family, the Drees family, has a big summer coming up, and I wondered if you wouldn't mind telling our viewers what you and your sister are going to be doing this summer that might require you to miss a little bit of volleyball time.
Yes, we are extremely busy. My sister Katie is getting married in the beginning of June, and about 9 weeks later, I'm getting married in August. So we have a lot of exciting stuff going on in our family. I know that my mom and dad are, they have a lot on their plate right now, but it's going to be very fun and exciting. So we have a lot of new things coming for our family.
Any chance you and your fiance will be breaking down volleyball video on the honeymoon? Or
I'm not quite sure. He's definitely into sports, but I'm not sure that I've totally got him on the volleyball side yet. But I know that I'm excited to get him into blue and gold, so that'll be exciting.
That'll look really good with him in blue and gold. So you won't be missing any volleyball games, will you, when you're getting married?
You know, I haven't seen the schedule yet, so I'm hoping not. But if so, I'm sure that my coaching staff will be able to take care of it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Kristin, we thank you for your time on Fish Report tonight, and good luck to you building the summer program, and good luck to you this fall with Raider Volleyball.
Great. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thank you. And that was the new head coach of the Russia Raiders, Kristin Drees. And Ken, I know you know Kristin very well. And not only was she a good volleyball player at Russia, but she was also pretty good in track runner as well, wasn't she?
Absolutely, Craig. And I know you and I have logged a few miles with Kristin on Saturday morning runs already. So, yeah, I've known Kristin for many years. I've spent many miles hitting the pavement with her already. And, you know, she'll do a great job, and you know, real confident of that. But like you said, yes, she was a great track runner at Russia, and I have to admit, Craig, back in the day, I even tried to pull her away from that volleyball court a little bit to see if she'd do the other fall sport, but I wasn't very successful.
All right. Well, listen, that's going to do it for our girls, Russia girls sports talk. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little baseball, including that big interview with Lehman coach Dave King. So stay there, and we'll be right back.
My baby finally gave up on me. I can't say that I'll blame her. She just got tired of playing a losing game. I sure it sucked. call my pride, and beg that girl to come back home. Deep down I know she's better off, 'cause fools like me are meant to die alone. Someone give me one good reason, one good reason to smile. I'm trying to be that guy my mother prayed that I would be. Some days I feel like hit the mark, some days I fail hopelessly. I think I'm alright, I just stumble from time to time. Oh, my mother knows I'm trying to be that guy.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. The first half, Ken, we were talking some Russia girls sports, including some softball and a little bit of volleyball. Now we're going to talk a little bit of baseball. And one team that you have to keep your eye on every year that always seems to be in it is the Lehman Cavaliers. Last season, they had 20 wins with a very young team. This year, they come into the season ranked number 2 in the Miami Valley coaches preseason poll, and they are led by none other than head coach Dave King. We're happy to have him live on the phone right now. Coach King, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thank you guys for what you do for sports around the area and just sports in general, get people stirred up about the great country we live in and play all these sports.
All right, well, you're welcome. And, I talked to you the other night and asked you when we might be available to talk to you, and you told me, boy, Craig, we play every night this week, so I'm glad we were able to squeeze this phone call in. By the way, how'd you do tonight over at Ridgemont?
We had a nice game. What was more important, we had a young freshman that we put out there on the mound, Parker Riley, and he went 4 innings and a little nervous in the first inning. We got him out of a bases-loaded jam, but he went on and threw about 57 pitches, but amazing fact was he threw 48 strikes, and that's about 84% strikes, and that's a phenomenal effort, and played good defense behind him and hit, and got his first career victory.
All right, well, another win. Congratulations on that. Tell me, in this early part of the season, in April when we're dealing more with the cold weather and the wet fields, is your coaching any different than it is in May, maybe when things start to warm up and dry out a little bit?
Well, the thing that's tough is that, until yesterday, we went a week without playing. And so I think whatever you gain outside and then you have to go back in and touch some things up, you lose that edge again. The way that any team gets better is actually be playing the game. And, with the rough spring we've had up to now, it's hard to get a little continuity. So it's tough. You have to be somewhat creative to bring them back in that gymnasium, but you just got to tell them to be ready when that bell rings, because hopefully the weather will break and that you can get some consistency and really have fun coaching the game.
Coach, hi, this is Ken Francis, and first of all, congratulations on your 500th career win that you picked up just recently. Last year you were a young team. You got 20 wins. I believe you got beat in the district championship game. This year, you're still fairly young. You've got one senior in Drew Westerheide. Tell us a little bit about Drew's role on the team.
Well, Drew's been obviously with us the longest, and he's a great kid. We look at a lot of leadership for him, and he's doing a nice job in that. And our team is young. We do have them back again, but we're not going to surprise anybody, because last year I think we might have been a little surprised. This year we probably won't, but anytime most people will tell you need that senior leadership, and Drew's a Lone Ranger, so we're counting heavily on him, and so far to this point, he's doing everything we're asking, and he's just a fun kid to be around.
Well, like a lot of the good teams around in this area, Coach, you've got a lot of pitching. It always seems to be the name of the game. Tell us a little bit about the role and what you're expecting of your pitching staff.
Well, pitching is definitely what it's all about, as far as having a lot of success, and you can ride good pitching for a long way. And we've been blessed with good pitching at Lehman, and this year's no different. And we have still some young arms, and be having these kids back again. Drew, as a senior, is not a pitcher, but we have a pretty formidable staff with Nate Bosway and A.J. Hemmelgarden and Cole Profit and Austin Arnold. They all have some experience. It's still early yet. We need them to get some innings in, because I feel if those guys get some innings in, you add Parker Riley in there, I think the more you play and the more you pitch, the better you're going to be. So it's early yet, but we're relying heavily on that pitching, and then hopefully mix our defense up a little bit and try to score some runs and win some games.
Well, Coach, you called that right. These young pitchers, your team and everybody else's team, everybody's looking to get innings in, and like you said before, it's awful tough when the weather doesn't cooperate. But this year you've joined the Northwest Central Conference. First time Lehman's been in a conference in baseball. Tell us a little bit, in your opinion, why this is a benefit to Lehman baseball.
Well, one thing is postseason awards are nice that, kids can get. Being in a league, with Lehman not being in a league, obviously we're concentrating on the tournament, which we still want to do. But now with the league, all these good coaches around this area, they've had to deal with that league, and it's a little tougher now and a little different mindset, because how you're going to juggle those pitchers in between what you have to do tough non-conference opponents, along with the league. That gets quite challenging. I got to brush myself up on that, because I've been out of it a while since I've been at Jackson Center there and also at Sydney. So we're excited to be in the league, just for a fact that we haven't been in one for a long, long time. So we're looking forward to it.
I've got one last question for you, Coach, and I played for Russia back in the 1983-84 time frame, showing my age here a little bit. But you and our coach back then, good friends, and I think you still are, Coach Hefner. And he always threatened us. He said, "Well, we're going to play Sydney tonight." And I said, "Coach, we can't play tonight. It's pouring down rain." He said, "Oh no, Kinger's got the parking lot cleared off. We're going to play them on the parking lot." Is there any truth to that or not?
Well, actually, I've played on parking lots. I've played on just portable mounds, bring them into a grass area and stuff like that. There hasn't probably been too much I haven't seen, but a lot of these coaches, we have to work the field and the play, and it's crazy in this area. I can be in Sydney and Pick will say, "Hey, come on down. We have no rain," or we can go to Bodkins or up in Lima, and hey, there's no rain. So there's a dividing line in that, but the old coaches, we want to play, and we do about anything to play.
Hey, Coach, I got one more question, too, and before we let you go, couldn't let you go without asking about that 500th win. Ken mentioned it a little bit ago, and that's a mark that's only been reached by 18 other coaches in Ohio high school history. If you're going to give us a recipe on what it takes to get 500 wins, what would be the ingredients?
Well, I think the ingredient, obviously, what's obvious is actually great players and great coaches, but you have to have luck along the way, and even yourself, as a person, you have to have pretty good health and the longevity. My wife Charlene, she's kind of a baseball widow, and you got to have support there, because if you don't have that to encourage you to keep going on, I'm sure other things are going there. But basically, the love of the game, and I've just happened to be at the right spot at the right time. I got out of it for a while after Sydney, and thanks to Jackson Center, they brought me back in, and then I now have switched for my 7th year at Lehman, and so right now I still have enthusiasm. I will say that I'm at the end of my tunnel instead of in the beginning of the tunnel, so I tell people, like, they say, "How much longer are you going to go?" It's to me, it's like a marriage. You kind of know the girl that you are going to marry, and that's how I feel. I'm going to know when it's time to quit coaching baseball.
All right. Well, listen. Hey, congratulations on that milestone. Congratulations on a great start to this season, and thanks for joining us tonight on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that was the head coach of the Lehman Cavaliers, Dave King. And Ken, I liked your story there about Coach Hefner.
A true story right there. We'd be about the last period of school, and we'd be ready to practice inside. And he's like, "Load the bus up, boys. We're going to Sydney." I'm like, "Coach, it's raining." He's like, "Nope, we're playing in the parking lot." I'm like, "Come on, Coach. Seriously?" Yep. Kinger's got her cleared off, ready to go.
All right. Well, listen, hey, since we're talking some baseball, I do want to go back to the sound room and talk to those guys for a little bit. Heavy D, I know the Raiders had a big game last night. The Russia Raiders playing Versailles, hosting Versailles, and kind of a big win for Russia, wasn't it?
A real big win. Haven't beat the Versailles Tigers in 16 years. Part of the reason I think Major Leaguer Craig Stallman pitched for 10 of those years against us. But irregardless, got down early 5-1, went into the bottom of the fifth inning, got some runners on, got them around, and ended up winning it in the bottom of the seventh. So a real nice win for the Raiders.
All right. And TK, stay on the subject of baseball. I understand, of course, the Fish Report has a new venture, and it involves baseball, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Craig. For those that can't make it out to the Ball Diamond, when there's a home game, the Fish Report may well be broadcasting play-by-play, streaming, live action from Russia Raider baseball out there at the park. It's just a new feature. If you go to the homepage of Fish Report Live, right at the top, there's a streaming button. We'll be advertising when we're going to do those games. Going to try and hit most, if not all, the home games, and keep everybody in touch with Raider baseball if you can't make it out to the ballpark.
I'm not promising you we're going to sound like Marty and Cowboy, but we're gonna make an attempt. Is that right?
We'll give it a try, won't they?
All right. Well, Thanks for that stuff, guys. And Ken, one more thing to get to, and that is that trivia question. And I was thinking hard, and then Coach King kind of helped me out there a little bit.
I think Coach King kind of gave that answer away, Craig. But my trivia question was related to Coach King, and which of the following schools did he not coach at? And the options were Sydney, Lehman, Jackson Center, and Riverside.
All right. Well, I did get a little bit of help on Twitter. Jackson Center former alum Quentin Pence actually told me it was Jackson Center, and then former OSN sports guy Garrett Seawright also said Jackson Center. I did get the AD over there at Sydney. He's saying Riverside. And let's go back to the Fish Report telemetrics. I know we forgot to do that last week, guys. Anything on the website?
Yeah, they're hitting it hard. We've got 14 people coming in on the telemetrics. We've got 1 vote for Sydney, 5 votes for Jackson Center, and 8 votes for Riverside.
All right. Well, I tell you what,
pretty balanced there.
I was going to lean towards Jackson Center, but again, Coach King kind of gave it away. He didn't mention Riverside at all when he talked about coaching, so I'm guessing the answer is Riverside.
Absolutely, Ken. Craig. Coach King, like he mentioned, he got lots of wins at Sydney, some wins at Jackson Center, as well as Lehman the last 7 years. So, again, Riverside is the correct answer.
And I know you can't wait to announce this, but the Flyers and the Buckeyes played again tonight, not in basketball, but in baseball. And you've got a result, don't you?
They played in baseball, Craig. You know, if I remember right, they played a couple weeks ago in basketball, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I think Dayton might have won that game. Well, they played tonight in baseball in Columbus, Craig, and the Flyers came away with an 8-5 win over the Buckeyes. So that's they beat them in basketball. They just beat them in baseball. Football this fall, maybe? I don't know. They might put the pads on and play them in the fall. I don't know, Craig.
It's probably a good thing the Buckeyes don't play the Flyers in
probably
football.
A good thing they're not playing them in football.
All right, well, listen, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight and do it for our show. Do want to say special thanks to Coach Baker and her 2 seniors for joining us in that interview. Also, thanks to new volleyball coach Kristin Drees for coming on the show, as well as Lehman coach Dave King. Ken and I and the crew, we're all going to be back again next week. Same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night, everyone.
Hanging at the Fish Report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the Fish Report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the Fish Report. Hanging at the Fish Report.